Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Tia, one half of Cameron and Tia. Together with my husband, we are wedding photographers based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today, I am teaching you how to scout for locations for a wedding day. So first, let's break down all of the steps that you can do in advance. Number one, let's talk all about prep. So what I love to do is I love to Google the venue and wedding photography blog. So I will search, let's just say, the Hutton House in Minneapolis, and it'll be the Hutton House wedding photography blog. And I will go through all other photographers' blog posts there. Blog posts are a great place to start because they're typically pretty comprehensive. Like they might have 100+ images and you're gonna see them taking detail photos of the outside of the venue, of any exterior features, as well as where they shot every part of the day. So typically some couples portraits, wedding party portraits, family portraits, where the ceremony typically happens, where they went for sunset, all of those things. What's even more handy is searching wedding photography blog posts for certain photographers that you may refer to or you may shoot in a really similar style to. So photographers that we refer to shoot in a really similar style as us, so they fall underneath that umbrella, but it allows us to use their knowledge for how they typically like to find lighting, what type of backdrops they typically like to use, and we can figure out where they were going for certain parts of the day. So this is really handy because then I can start compiling a mental database of, oh, they use this for wedding party, it looks like it can accommodate a pretty large number, or oh, they use this for family, it might be really accessible, they might have really just bopped right out from the venue front door to be able to get to this spot, and that can be really, really helpful. The next thing we will do is use an app called Lumos. Lumos is AR, so augmented reality, and what it does is you can search a certain location or you can go to the location if you like to scout out locations in advance, and you can pull up the app. It will show you a view of what you're looking at in front of you. So like it'll show you the field at Hidden Meadows, which is another venue by us. And then it'll show you where the sun will be every hour of the day. So like it'll be here at 2 p.m. It'll be here at 3 p.m. It'll be here at 4 p.m. And you can just go around and you can see everything around you and where the sun will be. So you can really visualize like, okay, this is where we're considering for wedding party at 2 p.m., but we need a little bit of shade. Oh, perfect. I can see right here on my screen that it's going to be right behind the trees or it's going to be on the corner of the building. So it's just going to be diffused and not harsh sun right at 2 p.m. So this is going to be the perfect spot. Or, hey, I thought this was going to be perfect for sunset photos, but actually the sun will have already dipped behind the hill there. So it's not going to work. We're going to need to go to a little bit higher of ground. So it's a really awesome app. You can search it by address or you can go there or you could use it on the day of while you're scouting it out. The third thing that we'll do is just use good old Google Maps. So I can search the venue and then I can use the satellite view, which will show me actually how the venue looks. So like the parking lot's over here, this is over there. Typically I will have gathered a lot of information in my little database about like, oh, a lot of people use this willow tree for their first look because light looks really diffused earlier on the day. Or, oh, typically people go to this little swing and this is where the ceremony is and this is how far this is. I can go on Google Maps and I can kind of familiarize myself with the layout of the land, how far away everything is from each other, and where I might want to go. This is really handy, and if I was planning, okay, I might want to use this location for full wedding party, and then I want to use this location for groomsmen, but holy cow, those are actually really far away. That's not going to be worthwhile. We're going to lose a lot of time. I need to find something else on the day of that's a little bit closer to the full wedding party location. So that's really handy. Now, number two, I want to talk about what we're prioritizing when we're looking for locations. The biggest thing for us and our shooting style is that we are looking for clean light first and foremost, always. This is always trumping a pretty backdrop, a cool backdrop, an iconic backdrop. We are looking for light first and foremost because we know that's what's going to make our photos look really consistent, that's what's going to help our editing, and that's what's going to be really flattering on our subjects. So that's what we're always prioritizing. We typically are not looking for full sun early in the day when we're doing couples portraits, wedding party, family. We are looking for clean shade, not dappled, so there isn't a little light spot here, a little dark spot there, a little shade spot there. We're just looking for clean shade. Then we will take into account backdrops. So we will take into account like really iconic things that make sense for the venue. We will take into account really artistic things like this tree is arching over this way. We can get foreground here, but clean light is number one, the priority. One note that I do want to make is I think it is worthwhile to incorporate things that are iconic to the venue. So for example, if we knew that our couple booked Hidden Meadows barn, it has a really iconic willow. It has this awesome field. It has these really pretty tall grasses by the venue site. Those are things that when when your couple booked this venue, they came on a tour and the venue coordinator typically pointed out all of these things and said, look how beautiful this is, look how beautiful this is. And that's why they fell in love with the venue. And so I do think it's important to incorporate those things in their day, whether requested or not. And you might just have to be really picky in when you incorporate those in their day. You're not incorporating them during the first look because that willow tree is in full sun. But you're going to make a note, and you might even vocalize this to the couple so that they can be aware of it. Hey, we're going to come back to this willow later tonight during sunset photos because it's going to be beautiful and golden and gorgeous. Right now, it's just a little bit too sunny. Or maybe you only highlight the positive. We're going to come back later on because it's going to be perfect at 6 p.m. when the sun is just coming through that willow. So that's really important to highlight those iconic things that make sense and why your couple booked that venue. One bonus that we're looking for when we're picking out locations is having some sort of reflective surface right in front of the subjects. So if we can find a concrete sidewalk, really light colored gravel, snow, anything that's going to bounce light off of the ground and up to your couple, your family, your wedding party, that's going to be really, really ideal. And so having a light colored reflective surface in front of them is just an extra bonus that we're trying to incorporate versus having like a green hill in front of them that's just going to bounce that green light back up towards them. So that's one bonus tip. And then our third tip is that we want you to consider what types of groups are going to work in what locations. So obviously there's a space constraint. There's a space constraint of not only how far back can you go to be able to shoot them with a certain lens, but also how many people can fit in that area, and then also how many people can fit in the shade. Typically there might be a tree coming down and you can only fit 4 people wide. So that might not work for wedding party. That probably won't work for wedding party. It may only work for some family portraits. It probably only works for your couple. So instead you need to find a spot that can accommodate a large group in that full shade. Additionally, you need to consider what will work for the weather, whether it's wind or cold, snow, sleet, rain, heat. You might not be able to transport someone really far from the venue, a couple 400 yards to a spot because it's too hot for that particular person. Accommodating accessibility needs is also really important and key. Someone might not be able to make it down the gravel path. Someone might not be able to step over the stream. And so you need to work that into your plan. What we do is we ask our couple about any accommodations that might be needed in our questionnaire with any family situations, and that's typically where people will expand on it. And so if you need a questionnaire, we've got one for you in our shop. It's super affordable. It's a done-for-you questionnaire where you can get all the answers that you need from your couple to be well prepared and to be able to serve them super, super well. So I'll put that link in the description down below. So now we're going to take you with us behind the scenes. So we typically arrive about a half hour early to our weddings to scout out the locations. But we've done all this prep work. Now we're just seeing it in person. Maybe we're using that Lumos app. We're just really laying everything out. When we're done with this scouting process, what we like to do is have a game plan of this is where we're going for first look. This is where we're doing bride and groom portraits. This is where we're doing family. Not only so that we can be prepared, but also so that we can communicate that throughout the day. If the family is going to meet just like 200 yards over there, I want to be able to communicate that when I leave the mom after getting ready of saying, hey, we'll see you at 3 p.m. Go do whatever you'd like until then. At 3 p.m., we're going to meet you right over there by that willow tree. So that's really, really handy. So we're going to take you behind the scenes, show you us scouting it out.
Hello and welcome to Josie and Logan's Day. Right now we are going to go scout some locations, and first things first, my favorite tool to use when doing this is Lumos. So I'm going to use this to help figure out where the sun's going to be at certain times of the day. It's like a little AR app, so you can see on the screen. You probably can't see right now because it's so bright out, but on the screen itself, it's showing where the sun is going to be at different times of the day. So I can plan out knowing, okay, family's at 3:30, sun's going to be about there. Let's find a good spot for that. So let's walk. We got a big venue today, so we got lots of spots to check out. So as I'm scouting out, I'm looking for a couple different things. The biggest thing is I want nice, clean, even lighting for the different spots. And it's also going to depend on whether it's first look time, portrait time, wedding party time, or family time. But for the most part, for all of those times, I want a nice, clean spot, clean lighting, ideally probably in some shade with a little bit of backlight. But then also I want a nice clean reflective surface in front of them if I can manage that. If I'm standing out in a field and the only thing around them is green, I'm probably gonna get some green undertones on their face, so that's not super ideal. A spot like this for maybe family or large bridal party shots, I think is gonna be really nice later on in the day because the sun looks like it should be just behind the building, so it'll be nice and clean and even. There's this nice, bright ground to help reflect up some light, and just a clean, simple backdrop that we don't need to worry too much about in the background. And also, it fits with the venue. Yeah, so we'll come back to this. It's also very accessible for family. Like, it's easy for all different types of family members to be able to access that space. I also use the scouting time to get some just venue detail shots. Yeah, so for this venue, it's so cool in that it's so big, and literally this entire property is the venue. So we can literally go anywhere. There's all these different vibes. We got some kind of naturey, tree, ivy vibes over there. Got all this kind of like rustic and old but colorful and fun backdrops. We've got literally something that looks like it was falling apart, but is still at the same time so beautiful. So it's a really fun vibe, and it's a great guest experience too, in that you can just kind of walk wherever you want and explore the area while still being in a very contained but large area. It also makes scouting in this location kind of hard because it's a lot of walking. But it makes for some really great photo opportunities. Classic dad waving at you while you're taking photos. So this might also be a really good spot maybe for our large bridal party, potentially for our first look too. It's obviously got the darker reflective surface, which isn't as ideal, but is okay. And if we want to do one step back in the grass just to make it look like or more slightly naturey vibes, that could work too. But it is nice having the entire facade shaded, even light. That could be really good. This might be a spot that Logan and I come to try out for the first look. We might be a tiny bit close with our lighting here, but one thing I like, and one thing that was a priority for them, is to have a very private first look, a moment just for the two of them, and us of course. So I do like that this is a little less windy than out on the street. Should have good lighting. This will be nice and clean and reflective. We get a good sense of the venue with all the different things. I think if we start all the way over here, one thing we'll be able to do is slowly make our way back, hitting a lot of these spots that we've already looked at for their portraits. And then we can gather wedding party and start getting them back to a cool spot. And so that, let's head back. It rained, which was fine. I almost said something earlier when we were doing our walkthrough while scouting. Just didn't want to jinx it, because it looked like it might pass, but it didn't. But that's fine, because one of the great things about this venue, especially, is that there are so many enormous indoor spaces. Like this one has like 50-foot ceilings maybe, and there's another building over there. So that's what we ended up doing. We did first look while it was raining inside in these big buildings. They actually had skylights in it, so it was really nice and really pretty. So that was great. Another benefit, we actually have been here before, so we did know some of the indoor spaces already that we've used, usually for getting ready photos, but we knew that they were big enough to accommodate getting ready or first look. And even we did some wedding party indoors also. But then the sky cleared. It's beautiful now. It's sunny, blue skies, and we used all of our spots again.
Okay, we hope you loved seeing us behind the scenes. Now we're going to show you the photo product. So we didn't just want to show you like us checking out everything. We wanted to show you how it turned out. So first I'm going to show you some couples portraits, show you how those look. Turned out absolutely beautiful. And now this is where we're talking about doing the wedding party, showing you some vibes of that, the end product. And here's where we did family, worked out super great, was perfect for everyone involved. And finally, here are some sunset photos. Oh, love those. They look incredible. We hope you so love this behind the scenes look. If you'd like more videos like this, seeing little tastes of things behind the scenes on wedding days, let us know. Comment down below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe so you can see any future videos. Until next time, bye!